Hi everyone! Welcome to the first episode of the Pajama cooking show, or maybe the Pajama Chef, depends on what I decide I want to call it. This is the first episode after all. Today we are going to be making miso soup from scratch. I think a lot of people think miso soup is very complicated, and it's really not. It's super easy. There's some little onigiri. There's going to be a picture post about those. So let's get started on the miso soup, and here's my pajamas for the day. I've got some awesome plaid pink ones on and a non-matching shirt. I will never match my pajamas. So first, we've got some chopped green onion. I'm putting them into this mason jar today because this is for my husband and he is at work, and soup in a mason jar is just the easiest way to go. And the onigiri are also for him. So there went all of the green onions. You know, add however much you like. It's just depending on your taste. He actually doesn't like that much green onion, so I think I'll take some back out. Sorry if I don't focus on what I'm doing. So we've got some dried seaweed here that will be totally rehydrated by the time he needs to eat it. So we will put all that in. This crazy container of liquid goodness is actually the the tofu. Let me get a little strainer here to grab that out. Again, the tofu and the seaweed and the green onions, that's all to taste. So just however much you would like to add in there, you can add a ton, you can add a little. You can add none at all. So we'll get that in there, toss that in the sink since we dropped it on the counter. My counters are never clean. Now, we have the broth. People will tell you that for miso soup you must have dashi broth. That is probably true for a traditional miso soup. I am not a traditional person, I don't care, so this is chicken broth. I always have a ton of chicken broth in my house. I also have a vegan dashi broth, so if any of you are interested in that, it is a couple posts back under leaks. That is the link to the original post. This is just plain miso paste. I buy it at my health food store, Co-op. I get it in bulk. It comes also available prepackaged, but bulk is always cheaper, and I can put it in my own glass jars instead of plastic. So take yourself a good old spoonful of miso paste. Really, you're going to think you're using way too much, and you're probably not using enough. I will probably have to add more. The strainer is to make sure it all dissolves in. I'm going to have to kind of sprinkle this because I've got two hands only. So you're going to put the strainer in, and you're going to just stir that miso paste around. It'll slowly dissolve out through that strainer. I'm not going to make you watch that whole process. It takes, I don't know, a couple minutes. But that's about it. I mean, just combine everything together in your mason jar or your bowl. Heat it up, or you can start with hot broth. I do that a lot if we're eating it right away. This broth is cold because he's going to eat it later. And then enjoy. It's really tasty. It's quite good. Probably more healthy for you than the prepackaged stuff. I make my broth without salt, so I will add a little salt in there. Otherwise, it is just a little sad. Soy sauce also works really well. Again, I said I'm not a very traditional person. This is what I like. This is not a Japanese recipe by any means. So enjoy. It's quite tasty.